Okay. I always have a hard time putting words to what is it that I do. Like it's
Is it you?
no, it's definitely it just flows through me. It's some sort of light activity that flows through me, and the real origin of that I really don't even know. Like you can call it God, you can call it Buddha, you can call it Creator, you can call it. There's a million names. I think I believe it sources from there, and I just happen to be someone that can just let it flow and not really direct it. You know, it's a bit of it's a fine line between opening the channel and doing it to someone sitting in front of me. So there's some direction in there. There is some responsibility of me in there, but I think it's really super minuscule in the scope of it, um, because I could never design something like that. I could never come up with that. That's it's beyond
Mhm.
me. So what I do is I had someone ask me a long time ago. So what do you do to get ready? And I said I breathe. I'm ready. I said I'm ready. I'm ready 24/7 at a moment's notice. You know, but part of the fool in me wanted to tell him that I got to stand on one leg and pick my nose and face east and have this whole chant thing and all this big magic performance thing. That's what for me, like when I see all kinds of other people that do stuff, energetic stuff, they do this whole preparation, and it took me 20 years to learn this, and like I had to live with these people and do these things and get taught by this and whatever. Like I for me, I just don't understand any of that because I was just born like this. I was born wanting to put my hands on people at a young age and didn't understand it and whatever. Um, so I don't know. I don't get it. I think so much of it is just a show that we need to be. It's the time in the world to be beyond the show. You know, the show is just everywhere that traps like, uh, look at what I did. Look what I can do. How amazing am I? And you really need me to help you. And like all that, there's so many trappings in that whole charade of that.
So is it safe to say that you just open up and allow your experience to happen, and in that experience it activates something within each of us to have our own experience, and all of it is beyond our imagination?
It's definitely beyond mind.
Okay.
Like every time you ask me to talk about it, it's like I don't even know where to start. I don't even know where to end. It's just truly a mystery.
Okay. All
So
right, so we ready? We're just gonna get
experience
quiet,
it,
close our eyes, open our eyes, whatever we prefer. Just get quiet and open up.
experience a little mystery.
Sounds great. I can speak for myself versus other people.
We're so proud of you, Jacqueline.
It's something that's taken me a long time to learn how to do. That was, for me, it was like a huge inhale, right? An inhale of something really lovely that just kept expanding within me and was very grounding all the way to my toes and just filled every aspect of, like, all the way down to my fingernails, and felt like went into each little hair follicle, like it just was lovely.
I was feeling, I was like really trying to feel, and I started feeling a pulling sensation, and then I was really trying to feel it, and I got into my head about it. Like I wasn't feeling anymore. I was thinking about feeling, and so I kind of let go of that, and then I went back to just being, and there it was just very, very subtle push pull, and then I was just sitting in that, and then all of a sudden I had the impulse to take a deep breath in, and then that was it. I knew it was done after that inhale.
For me, I felt like the crown chakra once again just tingle, and I just felt peace and joy, and that was nice to feel again. Thank you.
What I find, it's grateful. I'm grateful that you say things like thank you, but like that was something that's already inside you, Carmen. So if you just hold up a mirror and look at that and say thank you, that's the appropriate address of that.
And we only say that so you can practice humility, Greg, and you know, and
Well, thank you, Carmen. Thanks for that opportunity.
You're welcome.
I think some of these things need to be heard over and over again, right?
Yes.
This energy is present always. It's always present. It's whether or not we're actually present to it, if that makes sense.
We're always standing in the light, but sometimes we're not facing it. Sometimes we're looking away from it, but you're still in the light, but you just are unable to see it at that particular moment because of the direction you choose with your life and your choices.
Yes. And the analogy too, for me, the last couple of days, it's been very heavy clouds over here. And I caught myself saying, oh, it's so much nicer when the sun comes out. And I was like, whoa, the sun is out, right? The sun is out. It's just when the heavy clouds disappear or move, that feels better, right? So it was this, again, awareness that the light is always there. It's just, am I noticing it in fully, or am I blind to it? Danny or Joan, do you want to say anything, or just bask in the glory?
I let Joan start.
I've made a concerted effort over the last number of years when I'm doing something like that is to not pay attention to what's happening, because as soon as I start to, for me, as soon as I start to assign thoughts or feelings or describe some type of experience, then I'm out. If I can just get out of my way and not think, but hit that piece of silence inside. So for me, I can't describe what happened because I was checked out. So it's like what happened is like I don't know. I try not to be there so it can go so that tuning in can do what it's supposed to without me assigning meaning. Because for years, like years and years ago, you'd close your eyes and tune in. And I'm not getting it. What if I'm supposed to feel that? I wonder if that itches this. Is that why? Is my head getting hot? Is my hands tingling? I have to move. Should I move? I don't know whether I should move. Did I open my eyes? So
I can see why you wanted to give that up.
yeah, and I hear that when people talk about, oh, this happened and this happened, and it's like being outside and watching that experience as opposed to being inside and going, oh.
Okay. Well, for me, walking turtle now, not mama bear. I'm sorry.
I'm just changing it all up. You can call me whatever. There you go.
Okay. Well, the lady there, that one there. Well, I will say, Jacqueline. For me, when I do the ceremony, I feel other people's emotion, feeling, everything. But when it comes to me, or I receive it, or when Thunder Bear do something, it's like it's very, very dim for me, you know. So I think I would need like a one-on-one, like maybe 20 minutes of just get it in, you know, to open a channel. But then again, my elders taught me that to be very careful about what I receive as a teaching or have energy and everything. So for so long, I did like protection around me. Not I was not hugging nobody, not kissing nobody beside the wife, you know. So and I don't know. It's like my antennas there, they were receiving too much. So when I hug somebody, if they felt sad, I felt sad, you know. So I was sucking up too much from everybody. So I just can't protect myself. So now to reopen, like for Thunder Bear, I think we would need to do a couple of ceremony, maybe alone. That's what brought that we're probably gonna do a pipe ceremony together, just the two of us, before we do it with other people together. So maybe if we join the pipe, I'm sorry, but the way I connect is through my native traditional ways. So and I had I don't know the fortune or the misfortune of having antennas from a very young age, like Thunder Bear. But actually, they were going to put me in a straitjacket at some point and giving me medication and pills. So I kind of stopped everything I was doing because it was like too much of a burden in my life. So, you know, so all that barrier in front of me, you know, so, you know, so let's just say it's hard for me to trust other people within my spiritual and emotional being. So, you know, it's like what I see Mama Bear or Working Turtle more often, we talk more. So when I see you with her, so, you know, hugging people, because now I hug, yeah, because of you, by the way. My mom likes it because I kiss her now and I hug her, you know. So I was not even hugging my own mom, you know. So, anyhow, so basically for me it's that, you know. So I do feel something, you know, vibration or something. I do. It's like it's almost like a doorbell, you know. It's buzzing, but the door doesn't completely open, you know. So when we did the last thing, you saw the wolf coming out, you know. When we did the and I felt the like the kaleidoscope there. I felt like everything was like twisted. So something was getting there, but all twisted, you know. So I guess I need more practice to put my my radio station on the same frequencies as Thunder Bear.
Okay.
Maybe eventually we'll be on the same wavelength, you know. So and maybe we'll be easier. I don't know if you can, if you feel something out of me, but you know, so. But anyhow, I think that eventually it's going to be there's people that work in the science field, okay, that taught me they have a frequencies that can actually the guy has invented the gizmo. every scientific are working on one frequencies, you know, they're pointing at one frequencies, but that guy combined two frequencies together and ain't there at certain point. Okay. And he built a little gizmo is the size of a chocolate bar. You put that, you plug that in the 12 volt of your car, you put it on your dash, and you get 35% more horsepower, and you save the fuel 35%. Those two frequencies create a plasma effect. Okay. And nobody talks about plasma effect, and that would solve all our problem. But those same frequencies, when you make a tomato, you put that plasma effect around the garden, you get a tomato that weighs about 10 pounds. And there's no more, you don't put more nutriment in the earth. It just plasma effect opens all the pores to get all the juice. So I think maybe we should have, maybe if your frequencies and mine work together, we could maybe do some plasma effect to people or open the pore. But I will have to start by my own openness, you know, or take my my self-protection down, I guess, something like that, you know.
Well, I think that's a good point is, you know, in the world that you're creating about being open, we have to release and let go of things, but also talking about different frequencies. I'm going to bring up somebody that's on another wavelength. We might call it another time zone in another part of the world. This is Wendy, and she's coming to us all the way from Egypt to come join in the conversation. So, hi, Wendy.
Hi, Wendy.
Hello.
So,
We talk
Wendy,
on Facebook.
yeah, there. Did you happen to be part of the tune-in? Were you there for that?
She's muted.
That's how they talk in Egypt, very quietly.
Not all of them.
Still muted? Speak now. Well,
So-
where's oh, it says something about look at your browser or connect on your phone or wherever you are. Try connecting. Okay, so what world are you creating, Joan?
I'm not. I'm responding to the direction that I'm given. I don't like. There was a time when I thought I could create worlds and create things, but then that even isolated me even more. Because you have that sense of this is what I'd like to see. This is what I'd like to do. This is how I'd like to fit in. And when I was doing that, I wasn't discovering the gifts and talents that I had. So I backed off from that. And for me, it became more of how can I be of service rather than what am I creating?
So how did that, as you started to make that shift within your life, what did you notice within yourself? Was it more freedom?
No.
So then why are you doing it? No.
Well, when people talk about having unlimited free will, usually in most situations that I've looked at, there actually is only one truth and one direction to go in. It depends on how much I want to fight that. And when I fight that, that's when I have the problem. You know, it's like go and talk to that person. Well, you know, and so for me, yeah, just kind of different that way. Didn't make it easier or more freeing, because really that's just thoughts in my head. Whether I think it's easier, or whether I think it's freeing, or whether I think it's restrictive, or, you know, that's putting all kinds of conditions on in between here.
So what would you say to all those law of attraction manifestors out there?
Well, it depends. I mean, that's quite a spectrum of people. I mean, you go from extremes where people say, oh, I've just got a vision board and everything will come to me. And then they just sit and wait. Right? Mm-hmm. And it depends on what they're, most often with the law of attraction people that I've found is they're trying to manifest material things. They want the car, they want the vacation, they want the house, they want the partner, they want the, and it's not about like having the world vision and your piece in it. It's what I can get out of it. So, I mean, it depends on what they're using that law of attraction. Is it an excuse? Is it a way to move forward? Greg and I have known some people that, oh, I'm going to manifest this. And you go, no, you're not. You've been trying to manifest that for 30 years and it's not happening, because it's then about what I can get.
Well, when your house is on fire and you wait for the fireman, you can take the garden hose and start to spray,
Exactly.
Even some little action sometimes makes for a lot, You can save a lot with some small action,
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we live in a world when most people just talk, They're
Yes.
scared to take action, So
Yeah.
if 200 people take little action, 200 hose will probably give a bigger spray than the fireman hose, So,
Yeah.
So in the
maybe
world
there,
that
and,
so the world you would create then, Danny, is that people are taking small little steps and small little action?
I would not create a wall. I'm not that smart. So I'm smart enough to know I should not create a wall, I create some purses, I do crafts and stuff, but moccasin, with leather, or when I do as per time, which doesn't happen quite often. But no, I would not create anything. The only person that can create is there. So what's gonna happen is gonna happen. No matter influence, whatever, he will put the right people at the right place at the right time. Somehow. We might be those people, You think that cheese there making the holes, remember?
Mhm.
The Swiss cheese effect? Maybe it's us. Maybe it's not. Maybe we're just a bunch of fools having mental issues, So we believe that a feather can change the world. But somehow it seems to work because we gather a lot of people around us, So we must have garden hose in our hand. So.
I want to live in a world where everyone's got a garden hose.
Yeah, now you won't see a guy doing gardening the same way now. Hey, that guy's doing something. Yeah, he's actually working in his garden, growing food,
And how long does the garden hose have to be? Just
It's not a question a man can answer a lady.
So let's Wendy, Wendy, can the transmission work?
I think it did. Can you hear me
Yay.
now?
Yes.
Yes.
we can
Yeah.
hear you
Okay.
now.
Yeah, it's working. I don't use StreamYard too often, so I didn't know how to unmute myself, and then I ended up, I think, kicking myself out.
Don't worry, I was with the right thing that Jackie sent me, but I did not push enter on the bottom. So I did it about 5 times. I said, gee, I got the right thing. But then I scrolled down. Oh, you're going to enter actually. So
So he was all by himself. So were you able to feel the tune in? Were you present for that time?
I did, but I had to get out again and go back. So I think I missed part of it, but
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was just wondering if you had felt anything at that part when we were tuning in that you wanted to share.
yeah,
So-
no, I didn't have a chance to feel anything.
Okay, so we're talking about creating or not creating, right? Which world? And so we've so far it looks like nobody's creating anything. So what would you say? Are you co-creating a world of in your world, or are you? I'm not going to put words in your mouth. Even if I try.
I'd like to say that I'm co-creating a new world in this part of the world. I'm a coach, and I'm building my business and meeting people like here. So eventually, I'll be able to help, in co-creating whatever world we need, I guess.
Okay. So in the this is why we have different perspectives in different ways, and this is how we make the whole. Okay, so I know at one point in my life I thought for sure that, okay, if I put my attention to something and I think pink elephant, I just thought of a pink elephant. So then when I see a pink elephant, I go, oh, wow, I just saw a pink elephant. What does that mean? Wow, I'm so powerful. Synchronicity, woohoo. Yet I've come to the experience that surrender is the way I'd like to call it, is when I surrender to the moment, I've ended up in places I never thought I would ever be. And one of them would be right here. So to me, I think when I was manifesting or thought I was manifesting, I was actually limiting the experience of life.
Anybody read the book Science of Intention?
Joan, there you go.
You're mute, Joan.
Yeah, I was just nodding my head. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Who's the author?
We're two that could probably share that, but Science of Intention, so a lot of people will say, oh, life didn't give me this, I didn't get that, that didn't happen in my life. But hey, the guy upstairs, if you don't tell him what you want, what you really want, how the heck you want to know? He has a lot of people to take care of, So you have to see your intention and talk, and get them out if you want them to be something that's going to be like tangible, you can touch eventually. And usually it takes about 7 years from the inception of the idea to materialize, It's funny because I did a small invention for construction, and somebody told me I did not invent anything. It was up in the air. I just cut it. When I work on it, well, apparently more people worked on it and somebody was faster than me to put it to the market. So it was there. So when the inception is in your head, okay, I should do that. Okay. Science of Intention. I should do that, or I should create, or whatever. We need the product. So when your thoughts are out of you, in the air, anybody can go grasp it. So that's why you're going to be also careful of what you wish for and what you ask for in life. So.
Well, how about that? What came first, like the chicken or the egg? Right? Like, what if your heart's desires or your ideas that come to you were already part of the program, let's say, of your life experience? And so now the life you're having and you're surrendering to it, it shows up when it does. And at that moment, you receive that idea. But that broadcast, just like Fox News, went out to everybody and said, make that invention. And only a couple people picked it up.
Well, maybe some people caught up on something because we're 7 or there. So maybe one of us had a great idea and it brought us together. So that's why your intention, you need to verbalize them, put them outside of yourself so that you gather whatever you need to reattach to make that something that's tangible, that you can see, touch, or visualize, comes to on this dimension. I believe in multi-fractional dimension, personal belief, because of all this that happened to me, the codes, that's on my walls. You saw it on my walls. For me, we live in the present time, but the future and the past is happen at the same time. You're always like 1 million of a fraction away from the future or the past. And at some point in my life, I was living every day. I was living the day after. So it's hard to expect. I was doing in one day, I was doing 2 days. My day of today, okay, I was living in my head. I was actually, it was like a movie. I was seeing part of the day after. I was in construction. Thunderbird can relate. I was meeting clients that had plans that I saw the day before. I never met those people. I was a young guy in construction, and nobody wanted to give me let's say $100,000 contract, because I look too young, So they say, oh, he's a new kid on the block, he doesn't have enough experience compared to the old guys. But I saw the plan and everything. So when I park in front of a house, as an example, I look at the house, I say, yeah, that's the problem. That chimney is leaking and that. So when the guy came out, okay, with his wife, I say, yeah. I say, I know why I'm here. They say, what? I say, well, you have that problem, that. I got the contract. Because they say, hey, so the only guy that knows the problem. I say, did you come for a quotation before? No. We said, I'm young, but I have a lot of experience. So, see, the vision did help me somehow, So, but basically, if you live in those realms, you can play with them. So it's all part of synchronicity of all of us being together. We might have all met in the past. We don't know. We might all have a future together. We don't know. Time will tell. Time here will tell.
We're here right now. And so
Yeah.
you wouldn't have Thunder Bear actually picked this role, would you, if you got to manifest it?
That's not a fair question.
Says who?
I don't know. This voice coming out of me says that's not a fair question. Okay, let's rephrase that. That's not the right question.
Okay. All right. Let's change the question to you're manifesting your life, and did you manifest it to be the way it is?
This is beyond anything that I could manifest. I didn't wake up one day and go, wow, I want to wave my hands and watch people's lives change. I never said that once in my life.
Right.
And it's possible. I think it's a combination of just about everything that everyone said, because I think our spirit is always given the choice to make it about yourself or make it about serving humanity. There's only two choices. There's only two choices. You can make it about yourself, or you can make it about serving humanity. And you can't do both. You can kid yourself, right? But you can't do both. And I think, if I remember this, maybe Danny will remember this. It was like, it was the white buffalo calf woman teaching about, like, what is it you really want? There was two young warriors. One wanted to serve, and the other one just wanted lots of women. So the second was allowed all the women in the world, but his life just passed away meaningless. And then the other one that wanted to serve went on and actually made changes in the world. He created, but they both created. But what is it you're creating? And the creation comes from not sitting down thinking I'm going to create, because I think that's almost always self-centered. If you're thinking I'm going to create the community I want to live in, then you're in Jonestown again. And it doesn't really work out so good in the end. You might have lots of good ideas, you might have lots of really good things going on, but the highest plan is never ours. So if you want to really co-create, then you spend more time listening than creating. And it's all about our choices, our internal. It's a reflection of us inside, that we step out of the way enough to let that light go. And that's where we really create, because we create by dealing with our own stuff and trying to get it out of the way enough where your light shines. Because that's how God works. God doesn't work so well when you're going, let me create all this. This is my vision of the world, and it has to be according to what I see, and to a certain degree, we do that every day when we get up. But it's the second thought is, how do I stay current with that feeling of the light? And that changes it. Like, so we get up every day, like every single one gets up with our own idea of what the day could be, might be, should be, ought to be, used to be, want to be, like whatever. And then you get up and you just kind of find that way to evolve. Like I said, like right in the very beginning, like I said, excuse me, what's been coming to me a lot is, like, I see lots of people, they get up and they want to go prove what they already know to the world. So they go, see what I believe exists. This is real. See, I told you, right? And all of that is, to me, is like just the biggest waste of time, because all you're really doing is, see, I am unwilling to evolve. That you're proving to the world and to everybody in it that you are the least willing person to evolve.
Thunderbird, I got a question for you.
Uh-oh.
So when are you gonna change? When are you gonna change your suit?
Which suit are we
From
talking?
from a gardener to a fireman. Your hose might, maybe it's time your hose get a bit wider, spread more water.
Well, that's the hope. But I'm just going step at a time, just to try to be aware, because in my whole life waiting to bring this forward, like I've spent lots of time waiting for when it had to be divine timing. You know what I mean? And it's not when I think I should be going out there and doing it. I've tried that before. Like years ago, I thought, oh, well, I have this gift. I got to bring it to the world. What can I do? So I started doing workshops and weekend retreats and week-long retreats. And trust me, there was lots of that I really, really loved. I love the contact soul to soul with other human beings. I really, really love that. It's like, just for me, it's a magic place to be. But at the end of the day, I sat down and something inside me was going, not yet. And it's like, damn it. Go back to my little, not my hiding place, but just go back and retrospect and wait and wait and wait. Then I'd have another idea that would come to me, and I'd try to stand up with that idea. And it was like, no, you have to wait. So,
well, I'd love to disagree, because what I'm getting says you need a kick in the ass. So I'm sorry, but that's what comes through.
Yeah, but what channel are you listening to?
It's 105 now, 0.9. You need to go to 106 now.
Right, like that's the one of the things I learned a few years ago was I was tuning in with this friend of mine about whether she should go to a very simplistic an event, and I received no, but I don't share what I received. Right, I just kind of was tuning in with her, so there was two of us, in that sense, and she got to go to the event. But yet she heard also to go to see her mother first. And when she went to visit her mother first, her mother said, you know what, you really need to spend more time with your husband and figure out what you're doing with your relationship. And so her husband and her ended up going away for the weekend, and she discovered her relationship really was going this way. So she didn't go to the event. So I got that answer that she wasn't going to go to the event. But what I didn't get is that she had to go visit her mother and go do all this other stuff. And for me, that was like aha, how many times people go to a psychic, or they sit around and they go, you're going to channel, you're going to give me the answer. And there could be an answer, but is that answer really know all the little steps that need to happen for that individual. Like every thought that goes on in their head, every little experience that has to go on in their body in order for them to get wherever they need to be. And I think that is when I started to learn that, you know, as much as I think I'm helping, I'm actually probably getting in the way of someone else having their experience.
I didn't disagree with Danny.
Hmm? Well, you will see what comes to you shortly. So something's gonna happen to you shortly. My feather don't lie. Jacqueline knows that much. When the feather goes to you, I was holding the feather. The feather, it was bound. It was going at you, and became heavy. So something heavy, a change coming heavy soon for you.
Have you
So-
heard from your friend yet that went south?
Apparently he's gone for 18 days.
Okay. So, yes, 18 days and counting. So, and then the thump is coming. No,
Then the what?
no. Oh, we'll
I
see.
could share most of that event without mentioning names because it's
Okay.
his life. I don't want to
Right.
interfere with that. But one of the guys that was working on, like I'm building my own house now, and one of the guys that was working there, he got cancer, and they cut out a big hunk of his lip and give him skin grafts and all that sort of stuff. So it didn't look so good. And he was going, yeah, they said they got all the cancer, whatever. And then a couple of weeks, I didn't see him for 2 or 3 weeks, and he showed up and he has a thing, like no word of a lie, it was like a softball on his bottom lip. And the doctors up here were just saying like, well, we want to cut off your jaw and some of your upper teeth, and like they want to remove all of this stuff. And he's like, and they didn't even feel confident in doing that. So I just inside me, I'm going, okay. Because I don't, there's like people that I know on a daily basis don't even have any idea what I do. And I don't talk about it ever, hardly. And so I just went up to him and I said, so how do you feel about alternative stuff? He goes, it's either that or I'm going to die. So what are you thinking? And I said, well, I have this gift and I do the energy and things change. So he goes, lay it on me. Let's go do it. So I went and I met him at his place, and we're out in his shop, and I worked on him, and he went straight into a vision where there was butterflies flying all over the place. And he just sat there, and I told him before just to sit with it as long as he can, see what it is. And so his dog went up and poked him with his nose, and he kind of come out of that. And as soon as he blinked, all the butterflies were gone. And he was like, holy crap, dude. You know, and then he went, I told him to take the day off and just relax. And then he drove off to work. And one of the guys that was working for him texted me later, goes, what did you do to him? He said he was in the best mood I've seen him in a long time. And like, so he lost all the stress around it, was feeling really good. And so I worked on him twice more before he went. And both the second time I worked on him, he had a bit of a vision again where he was caught in this big, huge vortex and stuff like that. And then the third time I worked on him, his grandparents showed up to him and told him it was going to be okay. So, and then now he's in Mexico for some alternative choices and alternative medicine of some sort. I didn't get into that a whole lot. So I don't know how that's all going to play out, but it was, his spirit was very open and very ready to have all that happen. And it was just, for me, it's just every time, you know, an event like that happens, I'm just so humbled and just honored to be able to be there. So, and I told him the same thing. I said, all this is already inside you. I just happen to be fortunate enough to let it open and let you have that, because there's nothing being done to you. You know, that's the source inside you being able to shine. It's not me shining anything. You know, it's not even really God shining through me. It's nothing to do with all that. It's the source inside everyone that just has that moment of freedom. So, and in that freedom, the sky's the limit, really, I think.
Wow.
If we're reflection, right? If the world is a reflection of ourselves, I think that sense of purity is what's reflected back, like in that experience. That's what, whether it's, you know, with you, with Abrazo Gaze, with the Bruno Hallstrom, like it's that sense of, you know, you receive that and you allow it, and it percolates, and we surrender to it, because you couldn't do what you just did if he didn't have the experience he had, right? Like, this is the whole point, is neither of the two of you, I'm sure, sat down at your vision board and drew those pictures, right? Said,
Yeah.
this is what I want to have happen. But it's in those situations that life really transforms. And this is what I feel has, for the most part, it's the falling apart, the breakdown is what is healing the heart of the whole of in everybody in our world right now.
Yes. I'll share that other experience too. I was telling Joan about it. Like, I got a phone call the other day. This guy got my number. I guess he got it from a chiropractor that I used to go see. And he called me up and says, I don't know if you remember me. And it's like, oh, it's been a long time. I'm sure I don't. And apparently, like 11 years ago, I worked on this guy. And within a few weeks, his life just came together. And he called me up because he wanted to thank me, because he said I saved his life. And that was out of the blue. He called me up, and it's like, that was 10, 11 years ago. And that was just about when I went radio silent again, because I felt, this is going to sound weird, but I felt that the world wasn't ready for what I had to do yet, or what I had to say and how I had to do it. The world wasn't ready. So I thought, I'm going to sit back and wait and take, I didn't take time off, but every time I asked, it was like, it just felt like it wasn't ready. So, and maybe it's been so long that I felt it wasn't ready. It's still difficult for me just to jump up and go. So, you know, that's why I didn't argue with Danny when he said, I'm going to get a kick in the ass. So.
Well, I think, like,
sometimes it's positive.
Yeah, you're this concept of free will, and we can say we have choice. It gets to the point where you realize, at least that's my experience, there is no choice. There, like, you literally just have the experience, and you're doing it, and that's what's going to end up happening. I think I said to you, that experience reminded me, what came to me when you shared was the one when Bruno had done all kinds of things, and then there was the boy with muscular dystrophy, and then his parents reported it, and then that was it. You know, it just, you know, it took a life of its own, and the healings just started occurring everywhere. And over here in this neck of the woods, I can say, and people are really recognizing that cancer is popping up like the common cold, and people are dropping like flies. And you know, it's you know, a funeral every week. And when you're talking about earlier about whether it's about me or whether I'm of service, I had a few situations this past week or last week, and it was individuals were looking to, single moms, and they were looking for, you know, they wish they could have, you know, some extra money. And I said, I could, you know, potentially, I said, I might be able to help you that way. Right. And so they gave me their information. And the next thing that happened was each of them, they were like, poof, okay, my mother's been rushed to the hospital and has, you know, has got this and this and this. My father just got reported on cancer. This was this. And I thought, oh, that was maybe what I thought was there. But this is for me just to be the support and send love and offer, you know, whether they wanted to have Greg or Thunder Bears connection. You know, it's beyond even more of that, right? Because who knows what it really was there for, because I'm just making up a story, right, Joe?
I have a question for White Warriors. Why you choose that name? And we haven't been introduced. How do you fit? Who did you meet in the group? Or
He was there when you were there.
Yeah, you were at his house.
is it Patrick?
C'est Frédéric.
Frederick. Oh, wow. I would not recognize you from there. I need to readjust my glasses then.
He had
I
black.
probably had it.
In my
I
head,
probably
I
had a
said,
beard.
that guy looks familiar, but gee, there's so much Alzheimer in my family now. I know. I used to be never forget a face. Now I see people all the time say, "Hey, how are you?" I say, "I don't know who the fuck you are." I don't remember people's face anymore. I don't know why, but it just looked familiar. So it was bothering me. Why? I said, I knew something, there were a connection, but I could not put okay. Now you said it, now I can.
Now you
I
can
can
relax.
focus. Yes. Yeah, but why you choose White Warrior though?
White Warrior was given to me by a Dene elder in ceremony in Manitoba. Maybe in, I don't know, in 1998. When I asked for a spirit name, I offered tobacco, I asked for a spirit name, and he did a ceremony, and that White Warrior is what he gave me for spirit name. And I remember at the time I didn't like it. I thought he was referring. I didn't like warrior, first of all, because it was talking about war, and I didn't like white because I thought he was calling me a white man. So between the two of them, I didn't like either of it. and then with time, with the years, I didn't allow myself to stay like I don't like it. I sat with it. I sat with that name many times over many years, and the name sort of revealed itself to me in a sense where I now understand that White Warrior means a warrior for peace. White is the color of peace, and that I carry that energy. I'm very much a peaceful person, and even though the word war is still can be misunderstood, but if a warrior for peace is the battle is more internal than external. It's not so much a battle for peace. It's more of finding peace. Like if I was to answer the question of today, like what am I, what am I creating in this world, or however the question is posed, the first thought that comes to me is like, well, who's answering the question, right? Which me are we talking about? And in this case, it's funny you asked that, because the one who is answering is White Warrior, my spirit, right? That part of me that's eternal, that's the one creating something. And what I want to create, or what I am creating, and it's not even creating, it's co-creating, is peace. And I'm doing that by finding it inside of me, because that the peace that I want to see in the world is inside of me. And if I can tap into it and be peace, then I can resonate that, and that's the world I'm going to create, at the very least inside of me, and hopefully inside of me as well, if people choose to pick it up. So that's sort of what the work that I'm doing in the world, or the world I'm trying to create, is a world of peace, but I'm doing it by being it, and that's a full-time job.
a lot of people has a misconception about the native warriors. You know, because a lot of people are warriors. Oh, it's for war. It's for this. No, no, no. The prime role of the people that are warriors in the Mi'kmaq or most native communities, it's not for the fighting part. Okay, the responsibility of the warriors is to make sure that within the community, okay, all the people, okay, the prime role of the warriors is to make sure that the elders have wood for the winter to eat themselves, they have enough food, and they are cared for. After that, they look at the elders, after the ladies, and then the kids, you know. So that's the prime role of the warriors community within the native. It's not to fight. Fight is the ultimate thing that they will be required of them if required to. Okay, but they're tough guys. Okay, they're tough because they're going to take care of a lot of people under their wings, you know. So, and sometimes, you know, you're gonna shovel a bit, you know, to get stuff done. But with time and now with everything you see on TV, they use a warrior flag and only for conflicts and everything. Okay, so that is a truly misconception of what the warrior society for the native is. That was not the goal. The goal was to take care of the clan altogether. If there would be trouble within the clan, sometimes you need some strong hand, you know, to point to somebody, hey, you're outside of the tribe, you know, you're causing too much trouble. But it was the warriors were there to keep the peace. Okay, not to create war, okay, and to care for people and make sure that people that don't have a voice or a body to do chores, that they are taken care of within the community, you know. So hey, we might have warriors in our community, but you know, we might call them a peace people or something like that, you know, peacekeeper, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it's still a misconception. It's the same thing about somebody. My doctor called me today to give me my results from my scan. You know, he said, oh, it's okay. You don't pay taxes. You don't do blah blah blah. I say, yeah. People outside of the native stuff, they have so much bullshit that they believe. You know, it's just to put the native down. You know, so but it's okay. I'd like to remind everybody that the source code of humanity is love. The big L, okay? True love. You know? I was reminded, not sex, love. So, for everybody. So love is the source code of humanity. On this dimension, it's all about the love. Love, like you said, the warrior inside of you, finding your peace, okay? You're going to find your love, you know, inside you and love all around you. That's a little message I get from time to time there. They ask me to remind our group that love is the fundamental basis of everything. When you have one of those, a body there, one of those old bodies, it's something to put a lot of love to it, you know. So I'm done. Okay, thank you for the answer.
Thank you for that.
Alan. Yes, I shut up now.
So love is being of service in that sense, right? Like when we set that age-old teaching that says love thy neighbor as thyself, or
service is love.
Service is love because you're caring for another. When is that fine line between being of service and being enabling?
My English is not too good, but my grandfather used to say in French, tant qu'il va y avoir de l'homme, il va y avoir de l'hommerie. As long as there's going to be human, they're going to be I don't know what to translate in English, like stupidness, you know, because men are kind of, you know, human, we're born with a lot of silly things, you know. So, our own vision, our society has created so much misconception into everything. You know, love was now for the young generation. Love is being having sex with a woman, a man, all you know. They're pushing the agenda that we show. So soon we're gonna go look for moose, you know, or cows, you know. So it's, you know, it's not that. But anyhow, so I'm going off tracks, but it's like the same thing, you know. I always wanted to make. Remember, Thunderbird, we need to make T-shirts, you know.
Yeah.
Everybody say the sign peace and love.
Yes.
You want peace, make love. It's twisted. Love and peace. Learn to love your neighbor. Learn to love the different color. Learn to love people with different feeling, aspect, looks, anything. Just put love in everything you do. We'll have peace.
Well,
You know, that's a good T-shirt. Anybody want to make a T-shirt, Patrick? It'd be good for that. For your
okay,
kids, you know,
Yeah.
well,
love. That love.
so
Will bring
we
peace.
can all be loving, right? Like Thunder Bear can offer, you know, we can all offer help, right? Have you all experienced, like I have, like that someone doesn't want to receive that help, right? They question why you'd want to help them or be nice to them or give them, you know, pray for them, or you know what I mean? Like it's like they're just like no.
Well, they don't need to know.
No,
No.
not they need to know. It's that they don't want to receive. Like it's like no, I don't want help.
But that's also part of their journey. Maybe on the 5th time of being offering help, like that message still goes in. Wow, there's people willing to do this for me. Like you can't always judge somebody's rejection of your assistance or your love. Perhaps they've never been accustomed to that in their whole life, and that repetition is like, oh God, no. Every time I'm loved, I'm hurt. They've never run into that, and then you just release and let go, and that becomes a huge teaching for them, or that comfort level then builds up. It's not maybe that they're rejecting the love. It's that love has never led to good things in their life.
I came across a few people. There's something I heard a few times, you know. It says, oh, I love my dog, or I love my cat so much. I love animals so much. I said, why do you love them? No, so much. Why animals? So, well, I'm ain't scared of them, and they give me the love unconditional. I trust them. My dog is faithful. So there's not prejudgment within an animal. It's open. And you know what? I think when I meditate, my cat come on my lap, and when he start to purr, I go in my trance for meditation. Okay, and there's a connection. Even it's an animal, like it's a kind of love. You know, it's like it's totally pure. When you translate towards a human, like you say, oh, he's rejecting me. You know, but maybe it's the one that rejects that needs the most love. So most people should pray for that guy and sending him love. You know, native have taught me a lot of issue that before I went into the spirituality that I took as negative. You know, so take your enemies as your best sideman. You know he is your enemy first. You know, so work with him. He's probably going to be your best warrior or peacekeeper eventually. You know, maybe you just need to be loved by somebody. You know.
Yeah, I felt like we had to speak out about that, because that is a lot of people like aren't able to receive yet. They're willing to give. You've got a lot of people that are giving food, but the receiving part of it is what I feel like the world is developing, that they can trust that I can receive something and I don't owe it to you. Like, I know that was for me, you know, if I got a gift years ago, it was like immediately, oh, I don't want that. Like, you know, because I'm going to owe you, right? Like that just, it didn't feel good. So I totally resonated, like when Joan was saying, and I felt like we needed to share that first for whatever. So people were clear that you don't stop giving just because somebody's unable or unwilling or just can't or just says no at that moment, whatever reason, doesn't matter, right? We just continue to be.
And at what point is it interference too? Like in my first marriage, my father-in-law lived with us. He had an apartment in the basement, and I saw cancer in him. And so, and it's interesting because his father was a Unitarian minister, which they were very open to spiritual stuff. And so I tried to approach the topic with him. I said, so, because he used to only read like war novels. That's it. Because like his dad was in the military before he became a minister. He was in the military when he was younger, and it's all in his family lineage, all kinds of military stuff. So he only reads war movies and stuff like that. And I said, do you ever read anything about like health and how to be, good and like improve your health and stuff like that? Because he ate horribly and he chain smoked and like, he didn't lead a reasonably healthy life. Like he drank a lot of beer and and nothing's wrong with any one of those things. But when you just do it all in excess, it's like, you stack the odds against yourself. So anyways, I tried to approach that to him just subtly, just to see where he was at with it. And he looked at me with a real stern eye, goes, I don't want to know any more than I already know. And I'm happy with what I'm doing. And I want to read my goddamn war books. And that's it. So just leave me alone. And that was like, I was just hinting about it. I was trying to be as, polite as I could and all that stuff. And he drew the line. It's like, so I stopped. And because I was always just someone that wanted to jump in and help, no matter what. Like I was just jumping in to help, and that time it was the lesson for me was that there's some places you just gotta, if I really love and honor who their spirit is choosing this experience, I have to just step back and let them have that. And that was really, really, really hard for me. And then that changed me immensely, and so, and I'm grateful for that because, and people have heard me say, you can't save everyone, and being a carpenter and running a company for a long time, and Danny will get this. Anyone who's run a company will get this. I used to hire people in the beginning because I was all fluffy spiritual and everyone was perfect. And they are on lots of ways. But I used to hire people because I'd see this perfection in them. And then this asshole would show up to work. And I'm going like, I don't understand. I'm practicing spiritual principles. I hired him because like he could do all this amazing stuff. And I honestly wasted hundreds of thousands of dollars over the years because I didn't know how to hire until I realized that if I want someone to jump like this high, where's the hand? If I want them to jump this high, I don't hire someone that can jump lower because their best might be much lower. So you got to hire someone that actually has some sort of idea of their potential and is working towards it. They're way easier to work with. And it's similar with spiritual stuff, and everyone has a breakthrough every now and again. And like, so you can't just do the blanket law and say it doesn't exist because, God is much more than we ever imagined. But it is like with this group here, everyone here has a spiritual awakening of some sort and is rolling in that direction. So it's easy. Mm-hmm. It's really easy. And there's more headway can be made with people that are willing to, say like they jumped whatever high. They know they can jump higher. They just haven't learned how to do it yet. Mm-hmm. And if you're talking to someone who's never jumped in their whole life, it's like, you're just being ridiculous. I can do what? No. And they'll argue with you. Mm. Right. And so for me, like, I don't argue with those people anymore. I just look at them and I nod and say, well, yeah, you're right. Because they're allowed to be right.
Thunder Bear, being in construction, we're two guys that were in construction. I was GC, general contractor. At some point in Montreal, or in Quebec, if you want to have good contracts, you need to know people. And usually they're not the nice people. You want to work, you need to know a few people, They eat a lot of spaghetti.
Mario, yeah.
I'm not gonna say no, I'm not gonna name names, okay? So one day somebody came, I had 2 employees that were Portuguese, and they say, hey, he said, you need to hire one guy. I said, why? He said, we're going to tell you why. But I said, you need to hire one guy. I said, why? And I was looking for a guy, so a good guy. So I said somebody needs a favor because of his criminal activities need to be covered up by working, you know. So to show he's working for somebody to cover something up. I said, well, so I'm looking for a guy. So what can the guy do? Well, he's a carpenter, you know. So I said, okay, so I'll give the guy. I'm gonna give the guy a try, you know. So first day he come, what you see in the movie, the bad guy. Well, he was the bad guy, look, meaning, and feeling of the one that was telling other bad guys how to act. You know, he was a very terrible guy. Okay, so at the end of the day, I threw him the broom. I said, "Go sweep and pick up." He looked at me. Who the fuck do you think I am? You know, I said, well, I said, now you're the bitch that's cleaning the floor and everything. I said, I'm paying you, you do the job. You know, I'm helping you. They told me I need to cover for you. I said, do the job. I said, if you don't do the job, go see another entrepreneur. I'm not going to pay you to do nothing, okay, because you have friends, you know. I said, fuck that shit, you know. Sorry for my language, but it's that. You know, so he kind of got, and the two other Portuguese, they told me, hey, don't talk to that guy like this. He's going to fucking shoot you. You know, I said, I don't give a damn. It's my company. He's not going to tell me how to run my company. So with time, you know, the guy, you know, made a few jokes, you know, but when I was telling him stuff to do that he didn't like, he was doing things like that, you know. Said, be careful, you know, be careful. I said, I'm not impressed, you know. I said, do your work, and that's all I'm asking you. But with the time, the guy worked for me, I think, almost 2 years. He was a good carpenter. His attitude changed, but when they were some of his friends, he was always making the funny stuff. You know, looking, hey, you think you're the boss, you know, I'll do you at the end of the week, you know, you give me my pay or you pay me more. He was talking like that all the time, a real fucking movie character, you know. And one day he was always at a little cafe, okay? So, and I brought him his pay at the cafe sometime when I work in Montreal, okay? And he was with all of his gang, you know. And he sees me coming and says, hey, there's my fucking boss, you know. I said, well, I'm not going to say his name, but I'm going to say Giuseppe, okay? But it's not his name. Giuseppe! Come here, my love, you know? You could hear the fucking flies fly in the cafe. He came red. He didn't know what to act. So what you say? I said, come here, my love! Again. Nobody talked. The flies... And when I gave him a big hug, I said, there's your paycheck. You did a good job. From that day, he said, you're my friend. He said, you're your real friend.
Right.
You know, he said, not scared of me, whatever. He said, you love me? I said, yeah, you're a good guy. You're a good employee. He said, fuck. He said, first time somebody tells me he loves me. Mm-hmm. And you know what? Telling a tough guy like that, when I use love with him, because if I tell him, I say, I'll do you. I say, he would have waited. He had 3 guns in his car all the time. He would have done me. You know, he was that bad. You know, but when I use love against his rudeness or his tough guy in front of everybody else, the spaghetti eating top of the line were there. They all look like, who the fuck is that guy with the ponytail? You know, from that day, those spaghetti eating people, they call me la couette. You know, the ponytail, you know. So hey, I had the name with them. Say, hey, there's ponytail. They all respected me because I used love on that guy. And that was the toughest guy you could go on the planet. Love changed that guy because you know what? He did not know how to react against love. So most of the people that's going to do the rejection, Jacqueline, is because they don't know how to act. They never hear people talk to love to them, act with love, or use love on them. So, see, love can even get rid of a bad attitude mafia dude, you know, in front of all his friends and bosses, you know. So, love conquers all.
Yeah.
You probably ruined his criminal career.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So
I'll
we're
speak more when I see you in private. Not here.
creating a world of love. Beautiful.
My dad was a rock. Okay. All my life, I think I was seeking love from my dad, which I never felt. You know a bit of my story, Walking Turtle. So not feeling that love or not feeling anything, towards the man or the man towards me, made that I became the guy that I was. So at 12 years old, I started my first company. So and it made me use my brain a different way. I wanted to achieve something, and I had to use my brain more. Younger. And always because I wanted to impress my dad. So I used that negative impact my dad had on me, but I use it in a positive way because I wanted to show him that I could have success. Because I thought that was being a man or being better or achieving more would do more. So I became an overachiever, always to try to get my dad's love, which never worked because he was a rock, and you can twist a rock as much as you want. You will never get water out of it. So I would never get a tear from my dad feeling sorry about our relationship, because it was another stuff. So it's a long story, but, you have to accept also, so that sometimes love is not said, but I know he loved me, but he was not in the capacity to say it, So my dad used to be a biker. Okay, so he stopped getting, all his family stopped getting beat up. But what I mean beat up was with the fist. My dad would come home from playing in the yard. The first eye was grabbed by that and get a punch in the face by the dad. That was the welcome in the family. So so when you get older and you learn about what they went through, sometimes you see other paths, or more reaction. So it's yeah. So I know he's dead. Today's 1 year he died. And I can actually say that I love my dad no matter what. So he came in the ceremony. I did my last goodbye with my dad. We ended up in a ceremony that Jacqueline was there. Very emotional for a lot of people, that ceremony. So and I wish I'd be like you, Greg, just have everything pass through and not feel anything, but me it's the opposite. So I'm like a damn fucking sponge, So everybody feeling comes through me. But oh man, that time there, man, ooh, la 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 la. So and no, so I guess if you take the way I was raised from a man that never showed love, made that I showed love to my children, but I was verbally abusive, not physically, but overwork, overstress, overtired too. But I hope that when they have children now, they should be at the level that they could be non-verbal and non-physical abusive, So, and my dad never say he was sorry towards me, but I know he was, because I wrote him a letter, a long time ago, after doing a weekend of 3 days of native resourcing. Okay, it was flying like an eagle weekend. It was all about energies and spiritual stuff. And I wrote him a letter to get rid of that burden within me, because it was more affecting me than him. So and I know that he died with he still had the letter with him under his pillow. But never one in his life he could have said, "I love you, son." So, but I dealt with it. We made peace when Jacqueline was there. He made his last farewell. So see the importance of hearing, feeling, or knowing someone loves you might change the goddamn world we live in. So they're putting so much crap. Politic, war, blah, blah. Everybody forget about love. We all focus on the bad stuff. Why don't we focus on love? Go love somebody. No, call somebody you haven't called in a long time. Just say, hey, I just called to say I love you. You might make their day. You know?
Can
That
I-
was a song, wasn't it?
Huh? Yeah.
Wasn't that a song?
So-
I just called to say I love you. I just
Yeah,
called to
well,
say I
maybe,
care.
maybe the song has a meaning deeper than just the song, you know. So, maybe towards male, it's a bit harder, you know, because I was not raised to hug men, you know. But 3 guys I know that were wanted to do a, you know, kind of pass away. That just talking about life and everything, they changed their mind, and now they're all doing well. They were all, you know, so maybe I had, well, I think I did have a big influence because they told me, actually, you know, but, and I gave them tough love too, you know, not just, oh, yeah, you know, was, oh, well, your life is there, you did that consequence, that you're there, you're at the bottom of the fucking barrel, but there's only one way up, you know, you cannot go any fucking deeper than you are now. Let's get, take the knife, go do it, but don't do it on my land. I did that on the land here. And you know the guy, you met him. It starts with a T, okay? And I gave the knife in his hand. I said, you want to do it? I said, don't do it on my land. Just go in the neighbor, I don't care. I said, you're fed up? Do it there. Stop talking about it, do it. But I said, just know that there's people that still love you. You should concentrate on that, and that there is always a damn solution. You know? And the first step is love. You know? When I told him, I said, you know, you're my friend and I love you. He said, you love me? He said, yeah. I said, well, I said, that's a good start. You know, you have one person in life on this earth that love you, you know? So, and it does change the people. You know?
It's challenging even just with friends to just tell them you love them sometimes. I got the guy that was the best man at my wedding, him and his wife, and we always, you know, I've always got along great with him. And the first time I said to them, you know, I just love you guys. I really love you guys. They stood there with their mouth hanging open, like they didn't even know how to respond to that.
Yes, because we're not used. And the male there, the male issue, you know, I'm ex-military, construction, used to be tough guy, you know, blah, 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 did jail, blah, 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 all the crap. For me to go and say to be, and I was never told I was loved, you know, and just to express it, you know, I got big tongue, you know, many times I bit it first, you know, and now I can, you know, I could not even hug my own son and tell him I love him. Now every time I see him, we kiss, I love you, son, and everything. So, you know, we evolve because I guess I found out that people did love me, you know, not for what I had or I did for them, you know. I did so much crap for everybody just to seek love, you know. You need something, go see Larregui. Go see Danny. Anything you need, he'll take care of you. I was seeking love, you know. I'm not going to tell you how many women I went through just to seek love. There wasn't the right love, you know. So I was the top example of what you said last time, you know. The guy that says everything, all the women, blah, blah, blah. I can vouch for myself. I've done, and I guess love did change me. So if you can't change a guy like me, or you know, a construction art guy, you know, it can change you know, a guy that probably suffered, probably easier to get out, you know. But I think that everything that did happen on the planet has awakened maybe the male community a bit more, you know, about it, you know. I'm not talking about all the crap about drag queens and everything like that. I cannot stand the children, and personal opinion, you know. But I think they're pushing too much the agenda. But I think the openness, you know, in between men now, you know, it is a good thing, you know, that you can tell a friend that is a guy the same sex that you love him, you know, as a friend. You know, sure that don't bring your condoms in your hand when you tell him, you know, hey, guy, I love you. You know, so might get the wrong idea then, you know, but
That's funny.
So, but anyhow, so the message for me that they asked me to pass today was, remember, we're a good group, and love. Love is what we need, you know. So all our communities we're trying to do, everything we need to do, they keep on reminding me lately, you know, love. Love is the thing. When we do a ceremony, we do them with love. Huh? We try to bring positive. Your healing, Thunder Bear, is love.
Yes.
You know? Anybody put a gun to your head to do ceremony?
Not lately.
Not lately, no. Oh, you might soon. if you don't make that hose a bit bigger.
Can I
No,
jump
but
in?
it's all share that. It does not need to be a big thing, No, you see your neighbor. One thing I like in New Brunswick, okay, there's a lot of things I don't like. Everybody says hi to each other. So, well, in Montreal, we didn't do that. We're protected. We have the eye thing, You just look in front of you. Well, here, everywhere you go, hey, I do. I don't recognize half of them, but I, all the time. But it sets a positive mind, So my elder told me one day, I speak too much, I'm almost done, okay? This guy,
Carmen's like, can I?
Okay, Foot told me one day, said, try that. Said, go at a Tim Horton. He said, and stay at the door, and everybody that comes in say, I. Said, there must be one guy that don't like you. I said, oh yeah, there's a few that don't like me, So he said, stay at the door, and everybody open them the door and say, hi, how are you? They might not respond. He said, after 2 weeks, they're going to say, I. After another 2 weeks, I start talk with you. So why you open the door? And the mood's going to change, So sometimes you just need a little things. So a Kickstarter, I guess. And now I shut up. I'll see you Friday.
Jump in, Carmen, quick.
I love. I'm just so impressed because I watched the first 3 of the group, right? The first 3 that you posted, Jacqueline. I don't even remember 3. I think this is the 4th. But anyway, so last week I jumped onto a group and I just wanted to check it out. I think I checked it out a few years ago, but just couldn't remember. But I stayed in it for a while and I thought I was going to hear some solution-based conversation. And I was like really devastated actually, and I stayed the whole time because I wanted to hear everybody's opinion and everything, right? So I've been pretty down since then, but looking forward to this because I missed last Wednesday. But the energy that I'm feeling is just amazing, and I'm so happy to be here. But as Danny was talking about his dad, like I just really want to say I could relate to like my mom if I went to my mom's house and she was in the kitchen, it was very difficult to go and hug her. But to leave, it was easier, funny and weird, but it was just easier to say goodbye and hug her. But the hello was the walls, right? But anyway, I just kind of want to say like this, the solution-based stuff. It's like my son, he's 27 and he had a girlfriend for almost a year. And I didn't get to know her very much, but when they broke up, and so now I'm keeping in touch with her. And I actually told her that I loved her and care about her very much. And like when like anybody that has kids and they have a partner, you get to care about them, right? And like I know that she actually, she broke her ribs recently, and I don't know if it was because of that thing in your arm or not, because I've heard some people are breaking bones and stuff that other people I know. So she broke her ribs, and it just really makes me want to reach out more and more to everybody and anybody. And as Wendy, I think she must have vanished for a second or whatever, but I can relate to be like, I'm wanting to be a coach to go on top of the counseling diploma, but the life coaching, and I want to be like a spiritual health and well-being coach. That's the title, right? But it's like, so I'm seeking that, like for the inside of me to reach out to people. And but I can relate to like on the inside of my house, like my house, when I'm here, you know, I got all this stuff going on, right? Relationship issues, like however they are. But then when I go out, it's different, because here inside my house, you know, they know the vulnerabilities, and as I've heard Jacqueline say, thank God in your program that I've taken, like, what's the word I want to say? You know, this is me if I have a meltdown, say, you know, it's okay to cry, right? And it's okay, like, for a man to cry too. I saw my dad cry for the first time when he was 52 years old, when his grandmother died, right? But that was the first time I ever saw him cry. Anyway, I just really wanted to say that I just find this so beautiful and empowering. And when Danny was talking about t-shirts, I saw this one guy online. I can't remember where I saw it, but instead of the word confidence, which is so difficult for me to go forward with confidence, he had a shirt on that said Godfidence. I could put creator fidence, whatever term you want to use. But for me, I just find if you say, oh boy, you should have lots of confidence with the knowledge, experience, or whatever life experience you've had, forget it. But Godfidence, that's what I get when I get to speak from the spirit and listen to people speak from spirit. So thank you. It's just beautiful. Wow.
There is
Nogama.
all my relations.
Well, I think you did that with Godfidence. See, that's, you know, you realize it's not between you and other people, right? It's just you, between you and God, always. And when you do that, it's you know, you do that all day long, every day, whether you like it or not. So having another person in your presence really shouldn't interfere with that. And once you start understanding that, I'm still understanding that, right? And once we work on that, it's actually you can enter with peace. You know what I mean? You're not having to look at all the tornadoes and the storms swirling about. You just enter in peace.
Thunderbird, I just had a thing that flies in my brain there.
Am I getting kicked again?
No, it's funny. When we're together, we're like sandpaper, you know? I'm like the 60 grit and you're like the 320, you know? I'm rough, you know, I'm hard, you know, but you smooth everything more soft and nice, you know? So, it's just something that came up in my head. I said, well, we're like sandpapers, you and I.
I think that's the t-shirt. Okay, what type of sandpaper are you? Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, wow.
I was thinking, I was in ceremony this past weekend, and I was sitting there quietly, just being still, and all of my responsibilities came to mind. And I have a coaching practice, and I have a family, and I have contracts, and I have this land that I'm developing, and like all of these things were like one after another were coming to me, and it got really, really overwhelming. It felt like more than I could handle. And this is what I'm already doing. It's not even like the ideas and the things that I want to do on top of that. just what I'm already doing right now felt overwhelming. And I was really sitting with it and feeling it, like this overwhelmed feeling. And then I thought, like, what am I going to do? How am I going to live my life? I want to do even more than this. And what I'm already doing feels like it's too much. And I just got this message or this feeling of, well, just be yourself. It was just, that's all there is. Like that was it. But it was the aha of that, the peace and the liberation that gave me in that moment of like, just do the best you can and be yourself. Just be you. That's it. That's all you got to do. Just be you. It lifted all of that weight. It just went. It was gone. That's all I got. That's all I need to do. I just got to be me, be authentic, be real, be me. And then I can handle all these things. It's like, yeah, it's okay. I can do that. I'll be me today. I'll be real. And I don't know why I'm sharing. I guess that was important because I think we need to remind ourselves of that.
Did you use the feather, Pat? With your group?
Yeah.
Did you use the feather with your group, the teaching?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, it's over there.
No, but with
right
your
there,
group,
actually.
look at the feather. Everybody to look at the feather, and you ask them after.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we did.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Did it work for you guys?
Yes.
No.
Okay. So you're the guy that stayed quiet all along the meeting, you know. So when you said, you know, I was sitting there and just listening. I said, wow, if there's one guy that can listen, it's you.
Yep.
Me, I'm like a jukebox, you know. I talk all the time. You know? I don't like to hear myself. It's just like I always talk like that. I'm a talking machine, you know. It just come out.
You have good stories.
Well, they're not stories; they're actual fact that happened to me. So that's I cannot talk about stuff that I cannot relate. It's not me, you know. So, and as I said, you know, that's my vision of my truth. You know, I can share. That's it. You know, but my truth, depending where you're sitting, might not be your truth or Carmen's truth. May I ask Carmen? Now I know everybody in the group. Where you got into the group? Because I don't.
Danny,
She looked like John a bit.
You sat in circle with her at my place.
And I got to be in your home.
And she was in your home.
Just
but
John.
No.
Joanne?
No, Carmen. No. With all you guys.
Danny's really getting Alzheimer's. Okay, so let's just go. Sorry, Danny.
You know what? The last 3 days, I feel so odd. I do stuff I never do. And even my friend came today to Mario came, Laughing Turtle came, and we're playing cards. I don't even know how to count. You know, cribbage, it's like I'm spaced out for at least 3 days. It's like, I don't know what's going to happen. You know, I'm like stereotype, like blonde and bubbly, you know, in my head. I don't know.
Okay, now we're making blonde jokes. Okay.
Well, my daughter is blonde. I always make fun of her. It's an ongoing thing in my family, you know. But I thought she looked like Joanne. Joanne does Grasshopper.
Grasshopper Joanne. No, that's not. Yes, but
on my screen she looks like that. I don't know why.
I was there though when Joanne and I forget the other name. Joanne and
Alana.
Alana would recognize, you know, but I mix that. Oh, Joanne has the blue eyes. I don't. Well, it's too small on my screen, you know. Like,
will you recognize me on Friday? Okay, did you just see him?
Just your voice, I recognize. No, but it's weird. I'm in a weird space, and I'm like floating the last 3 days. I don't recognize nothing. You know?
It's okay. Things are changing.
And I do not do drugs. I don't drink. I'm natural.
You're all naturally high.
Yeah.
So in that naturally high aspect and creating that love, I feel that it would be lovely just to finish off in that space again as we started. For those that are open to that, say I.
Me.
That is you. Go for it. All right.
Open those.
open the hose, open up for those that are listening and watching, and just be open to the gift of receiving.